Hi children, welcome to English video class. This is Jyoti. We are in the supplementary reader now children. We completed already 1-2 lessons. Now let us see third lesson children. What is the title of the lesson? The desert. Yes. Observe the picture children. How beautiful it is. Yes. Have you seen deserts children? Yes. In our TV also we can see now. In our movies we can see these deserts many times. We have seen them. Okay, desert means most people believe what they believe. Desert is an endless stretch of land. Okay, it's a full endless stretch of land. And also there is no rainfall. There is no rainfall, therefore no vegetation. So most people believe like this only. There is no rainfall, therefore no vegetation. They think that it is hot, dry, waterless and without shelter. What is desert? It's a dry one, dry, hot, waterless and without shelter. Okay, but those who studied many things about desert says that desert is a beautiful place. Okay children, those who didn't study anything about desert means they will say like this. What they will say? They tell us that desert is an endless stretch of land and there is no rainfall, therefore no vegetation, and they think that it is a dry area, hot area and also waterless and without shelter. But those who studied about desert says that desert is a beautiful place. For them desert is the home of variety of people, animals and plants. Okay, variety of people lives there and animals lives there, plants also lives there. It is not always a flat land. It's not always flat land. Sometimes it moves. So it's not. Okay, this is about desert. So people who studied about desert says that desert is a beautiful place. Desert is the home of variety of people, animals and plants, and also it is always not a flat land. Okay, it may have an oasis. Have you seen oasis children? Yes, this is called oasis. Oasis is a green island in the middle of a desert where water is found. Yes, in the desert we cannot find water, but in the oasis we can find water. So oasis means it's a green island in the middle of a desert. Okay, where it is? In the middle of the desert. Yes, this is full of desert. In the middle of the desert we can see oasis. Oasis is in green island, green area in the middle of the desert where water is found. We can find water in this oasis. Okay children, so it's a beautiful. We cannot see oasis in our area. So it's a very interesting and very beautiful inside the deserts. Desert does not always have a cover of grass. We know that. Okay, in the deserts we don't see cover of grass. Always what will be there, Amma, in the desert? What will be there? Sand, full of sand. Okay, there will not be cover of grass. So desert does not have always a cover of grass. The rain is also rare. Yes, rarely we can see rain. In our areas we can see every time raining. Okay, floods are also there. Okay, but the rain is rare in the deserts. But if there is rain, the desert becomes as beautiful as any tropical garden. If there is rain in the deserts, we can see that desert becomes beautiful children. Okay, if the rain is rare in the deserts, we know that. If the rain is more, if there is rain, no doubt desert becomes as beautiful as a tropical garden. We can see our gardens, how beautiful they are. So if there is rain in the deserts, the desert also becomes as beautiful as this garden. Okay. Say desert can be hot. We can see hot desert. What is a hot desert children? Do you know what is a hot desert? Which desert is very hot? Thar desert is very hot. In the first picture I showed you, this is called Thar desert. Then which picture is which desert is very cold? Yes, Ladakh desert is very cold. So a desert can be very hot or desert can be very cool also. It will be very cold also. So hot deserts are there, cold deserts are there. So example for hot deserts, Thar desert. Example for cold desert, Ladakh desert. So hot desert, Thar desert is very hot, Ladakh desert is very cold. In general, when a place has little or no water and vegetation, people call it as desert. Do you know children, why do people call it as a desert? Do you know why? Because in general, when a place has little or no water, if there is no water or little water and the vegetation also very little, okay, vegetation also very little, that means plants, crops, everything very little, and also sometimes there will not be crops or plants or anything, then we call it as a desert. So in general, when a place has no water and little water or no water and no vegetation or little vegetation, then people call it as desert. So what is desert? When a place has little or no water and vegetation, then we call it as desert. So we have hot deserts like Thar, we have cold deserts like Ladakh. Remember this, children, very very important. Some deserts are totally without water. Do you know that? Some deserts are totally without water. Then what will happen? Do you know that, children? In such places, strong winds blow, rising heaps of sand and depositing them as mound. Do you know? If there is no water, what will happen? So winds blow. They're rising heaps of sand. So sand will be raised. Sands will be raised. And they're depositing them as mounds. You know mounds. Yes, this is a mound. This is a mound. So heaps of sand are depositing as mound. These are called, we call it as sand dunes. They shift and move endlessly across the desert. This sand dune will move. They shift because of the winds, through the winds, strong winds, they will blow rising heaps of sand and they will deposit in another place. Then it will be mound. This is called as sand dune. They shift, they move endlessly across the desert. They move across the desert. So, important topics we are learning in this lesson, children. What are the topics we are learning in this lesson means ship of the desert. What is called ship of the desert, and what are small desert animals, what are desert plants. So, we shall learn all these topics in this desert lesson, children. So, tell me what are the topics you are going to learn? Ship of the desert. What is called ship of the desert? Do you know this, children? Yes, in your second class only you got it. What is the ship of the desert? Yes, let us see. Small desert animals. What are the small desert animals? What are the desert plants? Let us see, children. So, first, ship of the desert. What do we call ship of the desert? What is the ship of the desert? Camel is the ship of the desert. Yes, children. Camel is called ship of the desert. Why? Because camels can drink a lot of water at one time. Yes, if there is water, camel starts drinking. Camel can drink a lot of water at one time. They can go without water for days. After that, if there is no water also, the camel can survive. If there is no water, we cannot survive. And also many animals cannot survive. But camel can survive. Camel can live without water for many days. If there is water, camel starts drinking. Camel drinks a lot of water at one time only. Okay, they can go without water for many days. The reason is they sweat very less and they can stand high body temperature. See, the camels can stand very high body temperature and the sweat is also very less. That's why the camel can survive without water for many days. We call it as ship of the desert. If you want to move from one place to another place in the desert, we always have camels only. Camels are the important in our deserts. Okay, now let us see the next topic, small desert animals. What are the small desert animals? Okay, and the picture you can observe, children, all these are called small desert animals. They can live in the desert. Okay, these do not drink water, children. Yes, these animals are also do not drink water. They burrow underground. They'll go underground during the hot day. Morning time they'll go under the ground and come out at night to eat. They'll come out at the night time to eat. Okay, morning time they'll go under the sand. Okay, they'll go very closely under the ground, under the sand. Night time they'll come out because morning time it is very hot now. That's why they'll go down. But during the night time they'll come out to eat something. Okay, these are all desert animals. Some of them eat other animals. Some desert animals will eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat. Okay, they'll eat other animals and they'll get water. Okay, children, because in the desert we cannot find water. So that's why some of the desert animals eat other animals for the water. And others eat plants and seeds and get water they need from the plant juices. So some of the desert animals, I showed you desert animals, no children. So these desert animals, morning time they will be under the ground, under the sand, under burrow. So night time they'll come out to eat something. Okay, in order to drink water, they eat other animals. They eat other animals and they will get water from that, their meat. And some animals eat plants and seeds. Okay, from the plants they start eating, so they will get juices also from the plants. Water juices, plant juices. They will drink that plant juices and they will get water. You understand this, children? So, small desert animals, I showed you clearly, all these are small desert animals. They live in the they live underground during the morning time because it is very hot during morning time. That's why they won't come out. Night time they'll come out to eat something. That's why during morning, and also they'll eat other animals for water, and they eat plants and seeds also, and they get juices from the plants also. So that's why they drink like this. Now let us see desert plants. What about the desert plants? Yes, desert plants also adopt themselves. Yes, these are all desert plants. Okay, how? See, in our areas we need water, otherwise our plants will die. But in the deserts they don't have water, but these plants will live there. They can survive there. So desert plants, they adopt themselves in the desert areas. So cactus plants, you know cactus. Yes, they store water in their thick stems. So all these types of plants, they will store their water in the stems. The roots are close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb moisture from the light. That rain occasionally fall, no, or sometimes only the rains. So they will absorb that water, and the roots are close to the ground, so they can live. So all the desert plants are adapt themselves to that area, to that water. Okay, whenever they get water, that means whenever it rains, so they'll get that water, and they cactus plants, some plants store water in their stems itself. So like this they can survive. Now coming to next topic, children, important topic, temperature in our areas. In our areas we have temperature, no children. So in our cities and villages the climate is humid. Yes, we know our climate is humid. So the moisture in the air, what acts as a blanket? Yes, the moisture acts as a blanket. So it protects the earth from the hot rays of the sun. So the moisture acts as a blanket and it protects the earth from the rays of the sun's rays. So the earth is not very hot during the day. The same cover does not let the heat go out during the night time. So the earth is not cold during the night time. So it is not at all hot during the morning time, and it is not at all very cold during night time, because the moisture acts as a blanket. The moisture acts. So that's why the variation in temperature during 24 hours is not very much. Morning time, okay, we feel hot. Night time also we won't feel that much cold. But in the desert areas, morning time very hot, night time very cold. But in our areas, it won't be like that. Morning time hot, night time also it's not too much cold, somewhat hot and then cold, like that. So in our cities and villages the climate is humid. The moisture acts as a blanket. It protects the earth from the hot rays of the sun's rays. So that's why the earth is not very hot during the daytime and not very cold during the night time, because the moisture only acts as a blanket. So the variation in temperature is not very much. Okay, there will be little change. But coming to the temperature in the desert, the temperature in the desert shows high variation. There will be lot of changes. Okay, because of moisture. There is no moisture in the desert, no doubt. There is no moisture. So there is much variation. There are lot of changes in the temperature in the desert, children, between the daytime and night time, because temperature rises much during the daytime and it falls much during the night time. Morning time it's a very hot, night time it is very cold. Okay, because there is no moisture in the temperature, there is no moisture in the desert, children. But in our areas we have moisture, but in the desert we don't have moisture. So important points that to be learned in this lesson were, deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. Yes, it is a very important, it's an important part of nature. Yes, it's very important. So just because they are hot and dry, we should not look upon them as useless part of the earth. See, morning time it is very hot, night time it is very cold. That's why you are thinking that it's an waste part or useless part of the earth. But don't think like that. It is very useful. Deserts are hot during the daytime and cold during the night time. And also it's a beautiful place if there is rain. If there is rain, no doubt it's like a tropical garden. Okay, and also everything will be good. There will be water, less water, and everything will be adequate. So according to that only small desert animals can live and small desert plants also can live. So deserts are very important, no doubt, in our nature, and because they are very hot and dry, we should not think that it is an wasteless part or useless part of the earth. They are very useful and they are very good. They are very beautiful also. Deserts are hot during the daytime and night time also very cold. It's a beautiful place if there is rain. If there is rain, no doubt it's a beautiful place. I hope you understood this lesson, children. So Please go through this lesson, read each and every question and write those answers. Please write your own answers, children, and let us meet in the next video. Thank you all.